Hello, Relentless family! Or shall I say hello, fellow Baldarians? Ooh, catchy. Let's see if that sticks over the next few episodes. Welcome back to Boldly Becoming, formerly known as the Relentless Thursday podcast. Now listen, I know this isn't the first time I made a promise I didn't quite keep, and for that I truly apologize. Season 4 was a roller coaster and didn't get the introduction it deserved. So this season, we're doing a bold, unapologetic reintroduction. This episode is a personal one. I've been away for a while, and today I'm sharing what that time taught me, how I've changed, and what it really means to return to the call on your life after a pause. If you ever felt disconnected, burnt out, or unsure whether you're still called to the thing you once loved, this episode is for you. 2024 up until now has been a ride. A ride filled with obstacles, yes, but also paths paved with growth, peace, joy, and healing. It's been a busy year away, but also a fulfilling, eye-opening, and dare I say, a happy one. In this pause, I learned something powerful. I am content. I've been practicing presence, finding joy in the simple things. Like starting a gratitude jar, spending hours at my favorite coffee shop every Friday, diving into new books every month. Now that hobby, it's quickly becoming a full-blown addiction. Healthy, but an addiction. We're only 9 months into 2025 and I've already read over 90 books. Yes, you've heard that right, 90 books. So with all that beauty happening, you might wonder, why step away from the podcast? Life became constant. My focus shifted to my physical health, my private practice was picking up, and I was fully settling into my new city and state. In that transition, something shifted. The love I had and still have for Relentless Thursday podcast started to feel uncertain. I started to doubt myself. Am I a good host? Am I really creating a space that helps others become unapologetically themselves? Or am I just going through the motions? I found myself obsessing over analytics. Are people even hearing me? Do they relate to these topics? Do I make a difference? And when I saw the low numbers, they felt like confirmation of my worst fears. What I wasn't accounting for, though, was that by mid-season 3 and through season 4, I was posting less. I really wasn't promoting the way I should because, let's face it, I was scared. And I wasn't as consistent as I was when I was in the beginning. And of course, these numbers reflected that. Hindsight really is 2020. Since then, I've let go of those distorted thoughts. I've stopped being ashamed of the pause and instead treated it like what it was, a preparation phase. A time to reconnect with my purpose, to recommit to the vision God gave me, and to revamp what wasn't working. So I could come back bolder, stronger, and more aligned than ever. In taking this pause and reframing those wild thoughts and lingering doubts, I came to a truth. I no longer fit in the season I kept trying to force myself into. Yes, I am relentless and always will be, but now I am also becoming so much more. I'm boldly showing up for myself in ways I never have before, not just professionally through the rebirth of this podcast, but personally, and how I connect with strangers, how I network, how I show up for my coworkers, my friends, and my family. The break, this stillness, it's been a classroom. And it's still teaching me how to take up space, how to let my light and God's light shine through me brightly and unapologetically. I've learned that I don't need to run from fear anymore. I can stand boldly in front of it, rooted in God, knowing I can walk through fear and let God take the wheel in every area of my calling. And there's been a shift. I now understand this podcast, once Relentless Thursday, now Boldly Becoming, it was never meant to be a surface level clout chasing platform. This is a transformational space, a space to go deeper, to get uncomfortable, to shed old skins and answer the call on our lives. Answering that call means evolving daily. It means allowing ourselves to be reshaped again and again so we stay aligned with purpose. I don't need this podcast to be the #1 show in the country. I just need to be obedient, to trust that God is driving, to let it flow. Consistency doesn't mean burnout. It means learning to pivot. It means recognizing my needs as much as I honor the needs of this audience. And truthfully, I didn't recognize that before because I was avoiding accountability, avoiding the truth that I was in my own way, avoiding the reality that it was fear, not failure, that was stopping me from creating. If I'm going to level up this season and allow God to reshape me, then I must show up differently. I must be open to change. And let's be real, change is scary because it often feels like stepping into the unknown. But I'm ready for this new journey, this grown-up season, both in this podcast and in my life. I'm showing up differently by prioritizing boldly becoming in my busy schedule. I'm doing better with planning and pre-planning content. I'm being bolder in how I share, promote, and network. I no longer hide this podcast like it's a secret. It's a must listen and it's worthy of being subscribed to. I can't sit back and just rely on prayer and hope anymore. I must put work behind my prayers and faith. I have to be obedient to what God is calling me to do within this podcast and beyond it. No more running when things get tough. No more disappearing when I feel overwhelmed. Now, I balance better. I delegate. I ask for help. I'm bringing a new bold energy into this season, a new rhythm of consistency and transparency. And I'd be lying if I said the fear is completely gone. I'm still scared, but now it's a different kind of fear. It's the kind that excites me, that tells me I'm being stretched, not just by life, but by God. And believe me, there's a difference between stretching yourself and allowing God to stretch you. Both are uncomfortable, but one leads to burnout and that other leads to a breakthrough. I'm genuinely excited for what this season will bring, the transformation, the evolution, both for myself and for you, because I believe boldly becoming will walk with you through your journey too. As we shift, we must remember, doing something new takes time to turn into a rhythm. After a pause, we have to reflect. We have to understand the why behind the change, or else we risk repeating the same cycle. So as you reflect, whether this is during quiet time or journaling, I want you to ask yourself, what happens when you ignore the signs of burnout and keep performing? How often do you confuse perseverance with pressure or people-pleasing? How can a sacred pause strengthen your purpose instead of delaying it? And what if burnout isn't a detour, but a divine invitation? So, as we wrap up with this reintroduction episode of Boldly Becoming, I want you to know this. You're not alone in the pause, you're not alone in the pivot, and you're certainly not alone in the becoming. This season is about realignment, authenticity, and being brave enough to walk boldly, even when your voice shakes, even when the path looks unfamiliar. I'm honored to be on this journey with you, and my prayer is that this podcast stays and also become for our new listeners a safe, sacred, and empowering space for you to return to week after week. If this episode spoke to you, take a moment to rate, review, and share it with someone who needs a gentle nudge back toward their purpose. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because trust me, this season, it's going to be transformational. So until next time, keep becoming, keep believing, and most of all, keep showing up boldly.